Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Events Announcements. My name is Eugene Ramanyanka. I'm a Crypto MC. Please welcome my today's VIP guest. He's broadcasting right now from Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, California. His name is Miguel Francis-Santiago. He's very known and famous in the Russian community, in the English community, TV host, filmmaker, blockchain evangelist, host and producer of the Future is Now Media Network. Miguel, it's a great pleasure and honor to have you on the interview.
Thanks so much, Eugene. Great to be here.
So for those guys who may be not familiar with you, yes, they are existing in our planet. Please, could you give us a brief intro about you, tell about you, and what are you working on right now regarding blockchain space?
Yeah, I've been in the space since fall of 2017, kind of when the hyperwave began, as we were going into the bull run of late 2017. And I was working for an international media conglomerate at the time, which was RT. And, I felt that it was time to really cover the spearhead blockchain in the mainstream media and news media. And I was lucky enough to get my own show called Cryptolium on RT, and we traveled the world and we did this sort of a short reportage type episodes, as always cinematic, because I do come from a background of documentary filmmaking, and that is what I was doing prior to the show on RT. And then I just caught on to this idea that cinema, and me being a UCLA Film School graduate, I realized that adding cinema, adding emotion, creating the feeling within this disruptive tech space could really help propel it towards mass adoption. And ever since I left RT, I created my own show, which is a longer 25-minute documentary film series. It's called The Future Is Now. That is our flagship product. And it is basically one film equals one conference. We go all over the world and we create a cinematic community building piece where we expose the space, where we get to also have a vehicle of exposure for the blockchain innovators, as I like to call them, for the conference brands, for startups, etc. We create a cinematic experience with them so that these people stay in your heart and mind. We enjoy blogs, we enjoy what we have in the space, this fast news delivery type of format all over, but we're trying to create something that is more cinematic. It's more of a story of development of this space. And that is our flagship product. Aside from that, we're a media network. We're a boutique visual marketing agency as well. We create branding films individually for our clients as well. And we do global PR and marketing. So that's another thing that we're developing over the last 12 months now.
Well, great story. And you will be the distinguished speaker in Crypto Armenia in Yerevan in ChainPoint 19 conference hosted by Vigan Roshanyan and Armenian Noor Association, Blockchain Association Noor team in October 14 and 15. So the first question for you, Miguel, why did you decide to share your ideas and experience in Crypto Armenia?
Well, I've been to Yerevan a year ago actually a little more than a year ago, I guess, at the blockchain, the Armenian Blockchain Forum, the ABF. And, it was an amazing experience because, first of all, it was the transition of the previous government of, I forget the president's name, into the Pashinyan government. And it was just the most peaceful, Maidan, the most peaceful revolution I've ever experienced. It was like a big Armenian wedding of people celebrating change. And it happened. Within 3 days that we were there, it happened. We because of the transition of government, we were doing a report there at the time, a news report, not for The Future Is Now. And because of the transition of the government, we couldn't really release that because it kind of changed things. And now I'm eager to come back there when things have settled, and hopefully the government is working with the community to create and support and expose blockchain and expose the Armenian entrepreneurship in disruptive tech, which I think is, our Armenians have always had a special place in my heart. I've had a few friends, I've had a few bosses, and I think Armenian nation is spread all over the planet, in France, here in Glendale, in Los Angeles, Silicon Valley, of course, and Yerevan and Moscow and so on. And I think it's great to see that side of it, that the Armenian base, Yerevan, is beginning to support this technology and calling back the talents to create something new. So this is going to be exciting, and I'm really eager to cover this again in a cinematic and moving way.
Yeah, and the year of 10th anniversary of Bitcoin appearance on the planet, Armenia radically changed, and we all appreciate these changes. We love it. So what will you be speaking about in Yerevan during your speech on the stage?
I have a keynote that I've been keynoting for some time. It's basically a new cinema for blockchain implementation into socioeconomic growth. And it's the idea that without the biggest propaganda machine, which is Hollywood, we can't really have certain mass adoption to certain ideas. Hollywood has been successfully propelling certain ideas and certain imagery all over the world, having the biggest reach. And that has to do with cinema, with something Francis Ford Coppola said, that cinema is the editing, the montage of emotions closely together to create a certain point. And that is essentially what I will be speaking in detail about, how important it is to have new media and cinematic approach to the space to, again, help it in this thing that we're all looking for. We're all looking for mass adoption. We're all looking for this technology to be picked up by the institutionals, to be hopefully adopted by the regulators in some way, and propelled by governments, just like we will be seeing in Armenia. So I will be speaking about the importance of using these certain aspects in mass adoption, and of course telling my story of the people that I've met along my over 2-year journey now in this space, the people that I've spoken to, from former presidents like Vicente Fox of Mexico to, Guy Kawasaki, to Tim Draper, Brock Pierce, of course. I will be making a short resume of all the important things that I've gathered from some of these gurus of the blockchain space.
Well, you have a very, very interesting viewpoint from as an experienced professional content maker. How do you think, is there a lack of good quality video content in the industry?
Well, we also try to educate through our films. We really try to, I've been fortunate enough to be acquainted with some amazing speakers that have appeared, in almost in a lot of my episodes, not every episode, but like Miko Mutsumura, one of my a close friend and an amazing thought leader. Just the way he educates you when he speaks to you, and the way he showcases the important aspects of the global transformation as it's happening now, it's fairly amazing to listen to. So I think educational content is important, but it's important to be crossed with something that you can watch on a couch with your wife over a bottle of red, or some popcorn or whatever, and enjoy. I love the fact that we have so many amazing bloggers and vloggers and fast delivery type of analytical content, trading bloggers and, altcoin sort of analytical content and whatnot. But again, that's missing that one thing, which is the more general approach to delivering this content. And that, I think, is something more that we would see on, Vice News, maybe, maybe, Discovery Channel, etc. It's something that could be like one of the reasons why I'm here in LA now, and I moved back after living 10 years in Europe and Eastern Europe, is because we're currently pursuing Netflix and pursuing a few other major distributors for a potential series, same titled series, of course, The Future Is Now film, about this. So we're trying to get to, that sort of distribution where it becomes global. Right now we distribute our film through crypto, fintech, and business media. And we have certain, campaigns that we run for an episode where we essentially are creating this film for the community, by the community. And that's great. We're really kind of getting people together, and we're trying to, we're giving them content that is exciting to watch and very thought-provoking. But we want to also stem into the more mass consumption, mass viewership type of a thing. So that's part of the reason why I moved to LA as well. And so yes, to answer your question, sorry for the long intro, but it is important to have all that great content, analytical content, blogging content, but it's also important to start creating the more mass use type of content, right? For people out there to look at and get inspired, get interested in the space, and perhaps join it.
Well, from your viewpoint, what are the main destination industry is moving on right now? What are the main trends in industry as you're observing?
The main trends right now, well, we have this big tug of war, of course, with the manipulators, unfortunately, because Bitcoin is the mother. It is the mothership. It is the only real decentralized crypto out there. And because of these whales that are manipulating the price, we're having trouble with the institutional capital, the insurance, the medical funds entering, even though some of that has happened over the previous year, as we recently found out at the Malta Blockchain Summit and at the Coinsbank cruise, by speaking to people like Brock Pierce and Michael Turpin. There is certain companies out there that are the consultants for the general institutional world. They say, you have to invest into this, you have to invest into that, you should invest into that. And if you don't do what they say as an investment fund manager, and they're right, you get fired. So about 4 months ago or so, perhaps 5 months ago, they said, you have actually, yeah, exactly. Oh, a little more than that. I'm sorry. About half a year ago, they said, put 30 points into Bitcoin. This is Cambridge Associates that I'm talking about, not Cambridge Analytica, not to be confused with that. Cambridge Associates, that's the go-to, the word of God sort of a firm for some of these, for some of the biggest money in the world, really. And they said, invest into crypto, it's time. And that's when we saw the run from basically 4,000 all the way up to 8,000 in right before May this year. So some of that is happening. Some of the institutional capital is entering, and we can see the rise of interest towards Bitcoin and the blockchain space right away. But then the whales come in, and these are the same people that have essentially screwed Wall Street and have been screwing on Wall Street, and they are from Wall Street. And then they start manipulating price, and then they start creating such volatility where it's almost impossible to have a healthy trading market, because when you long, they're going to dump and they're going to short and they're going to get that liquidation, and when you short and they see that, over 60% of the market is in shorts all over the main crypto exchanges, they're going to pump money in and they're going to long and they're going to liquidate that, So that's one of the problems. Like, these whales are playing with us around the room, and we should be smart, because we have a tiger in the room, and we need to be smart about that tiger. We need to huddle. We need to realize that, some of us here actually want to create a better future for our children, to experience than the current system that we're living in. And if we're not smart, we're going to lose it to opportunists and to charlatans like these people from Wall Street, for example, that are actually ruining it for everyone. Because this started happening, what I'm talking about right now with the trading, it started happening right after this big pump from 4 to 8K, which was majorly institutional money, because the market cap almost doubled, or it did double. It actually went beyond that, right, as we went to 12K and 13K briefly in July, I believe, of this year. So that's the main problem that we're having now. We're having problem with charlatans overflowing this market to make a quick buck instead of giving a piece of them, investing their time into actually making these companies better, into actually making this space better, into actually making the regulators come and be with us instead of against us. But again, to a certain extent that we do want to keep it decentralized. So there's a lot of issues, and we try to cover a lot of that with, again, some of the front runners of the disruptive tech space in all fields of AI, blockchain, and IoT.
Well, I do always ask speakers from different countries about the crypto shapes or crypto sites or crypto insights of their countries. You are in California right now. We can talk about every 50 states of the United States. Can we talk about crypto California? Does this magic country exist? If it does, what is the difference between crypto California and other 49 United States, as you know?
Well, I mean, I can't really say that, California is that much of a, I'd say Puerto Rico with what some of the, again, people like Brock and Michael Turpin and so on, the sort of the migration that they created in Puerto Rico with all the decentralized nomads, as I like to call them, and not just me, Foo Styles, that's her term. Anyway, all the decentralized nomads coming to Puerto Rico, that's amazing. That's a great hub that they've created there. Wisconsin, of course, with the utility token, that's another great state for that. New York, I'd say, is probably more crypto than California. I mean, Silicon Valley, sure, lots of events. A crypto community is there. LA, we have Crypto Mondays every Monday, and you can come, and this is your chance to just come and meet people and experience the latest trends being discussed, about crypto. So yeah, California is definitely, in line with that. And I think that idea of having these kind of things, I think that's great. Having small open door events every week where people can just come and experience this and try to learn and ask questions about it and see if this is something that maybe they'd like to take their business in, put it on the blockchain, tokenize it, etc. So all of these communal things will lead to mass adoption. And I mean, California definitely has it, but I would say that there are other places in the US that I think are more up there.
Well, as an crypto MC, I'm mostly related to the event side of crypto industry, for example, in Russian-speaking community. And I may ask you, do you track American, United States crypto events? And what are the best, what are the worst? Which American crypto events in crypto space would you recommend if you are observing this part of industry?
Well, I definitely enjoy Coin Agenda. I've personally enjoyed, Consensus, of course, it's big, but see, this is the thing with huge conferences, they're hard to find quality. There have been a few, and I have to say one of them is definitely Malta Blockchain Summit, or the rebranded now Malta AI and Blockchain Summit. That's more in Europe, but still that attracts a large crowd from all over the world, which is really great because I've been to so many of these things, and in Malta I was able to see everyone. I was able to see people from Puerto Rico. I saw people from California. I saw people that I know from London, people that I know from Barcelona, Moscow, of course, Shanghai, Korea, right? So Malta for me was one of those unique events where it was huge, but it was nice. It was cozy. You could really cycle through the amazing innovators and build the connections, build the network, and create something. So in that regard, again, I'd say what Sigma and Iman Poulos has done there has been really interesting. In Moscow, I'm having trouble really with events in Moscow. I don't know why. I've been to a few. It's just the level I think that Russia needs to put up there, at least when it's an event in Russia, organized by the Russian crypto community. I feel that there are still things that these people could better on, so to speak, right? In Europe, again, I think the London Blockchain Week, for me, of course, the Coinsbank Cruise, that has been an event, the platform that I've been affiliated with from my day one in the crypto space. Of course, we have the San Francisco Blockchain Week. That always has a good array of cozier conferences and gatherings. But it's really, the problem with events and this general wave, again, of gatherings is a lot of them are trying to make a buck. And then there are a few that are actually trying to give you the tools to network and to, again, to build something, right? Because this is what it's all about. It's about meeting people that you can build something with, meeting people that can empower each other, meeting people that can create this space, because we're all in the same boat at the end of the day. And this is what I mean when we speak about, these manipulators, these regulators, these startups, the established funds, the crypto events, the charlatans, the scammers. We're all in the same crypto boat, and we're traveling down the same ocean of life. And it's us. It's us who will decide how this will end, or where this will go. So we must always look at ourselves and decide, how am I building this space? How am I playing this game? Because, quoting Brock Pierce, it is kind of like choose your own adventure. You have to ask yourself, why am I doing this? What am I here for? What do I want to do in the end with this? And so I think from a clear intention, from an honest intention, we can create an honest community. And so it's been an experience for me, because I've seen people change. I've seen people go from rotten people to trying to be good people, because again, this space attracted a lot of cockroaches. As any new disruptive space always does, it attracts scammers, it attracts charlatans. And that is the biggest problem we had with the ICO wave, where we had so much blood on the street. We had so many people lose money because so many people on the other side collecting money were charlatans, and that's where this whole personal evolution, I think, is actually happening. And you can be a part of it if you enter the blockchain space. You can literally feel how you can transform yourself into becoming not better human being, but elevating your consciousness, elevating your soul, if you will, right? Because it's a learning experience. It's literally a game where each level, as you level up, you can choose whether you want to level up the good side of you or the bad side. And I think from that, we can see the real formation of businesses, communities, brands, and actual use cases, actual technologies that really have a use case, because that will lead to mass adoption. Once we get real tech out there, real honest teams that operate with integrity, with honesty, and with being true, first of all, to themselves.
Yeah, I really love this statement that we 7.5 billion inhabitants of planet Earth, are all in this crypto boat, and everybody should understand what he personally is doing in this boat and where is he moving on. So finally, Miguel, I'm totally 100% convinced that you will be one of the most popular and interesting speaker at the ChainPoint conference. Finally, whom will you advise to attend this conference? What type of person would mostly benefit of attending this conference? Whom do you recommend to visit Crypto Yerevan in October 14 and 15?
Look, like I said, Armenia went through an amazing transformation. And there are people like Vigen who operate with that integrity and honesty, and they're trying to create something good. They're trying to create something that is going to be tangible and real. And for Armenia, as an up-and-coming crypto space, I think that's amazing, especially with the incentives that it seems the new government is also ready to play into. So that's why I think ChainPoint is going to be an important event to visit and support, because it's going to allow and hopefully enable for new avenues of opportunity and global integration of blockchain from the Armenian side. And that's why I believe if you can make it to Yerevan, make it to Yerevan. Go there, experience. It's an amazing place. The wines, the cheeses, they're the most insane. I mean, the food there, it's real organic. It's like organically organic. It's so delicious. It's so amazing. The people are very friendly, very nice. You know, the level of life actually in Yerevan, at least in, you know, the city part, it's really out there, and it's a beautiful place. It's calm, it's not too busy. It's a great place to vacation, I feel. So if you can make it to Yerevan, to mix some pleasure, you know, business with pleasure, essentially by by looking at the cultural side of Yerevan and experiencing the blockchain side, then ChainPoint is the place to be.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard all the things by your own ears. So if you want to change your life like Armenia did this in last year, if you find it useful for your business, so if you are searching for the right time and right place, and this fall, I want personally meet this passionate gentleman, Miguel Francis-Santiago from California, being in Armenia and talking with you, please attend ChainPoint conference in Yerevan, Crypto Armenia, on October 14 and 15. And don't forget to use your promo code Romanenko at CP19 for a 20% discount. It's written below. And by the way, please check out the cryptomc.com and find the list of another events. We can also meet with you this fall and find the promo codes there. Please subscribe our Facebook page and YouTube channel and stay tuned for next biggest interviews. Miguel Francis-Santiago from the heart of quality content making industry from California, United States. Eugene Romanenko, about you. Thank you for watching. See you on October 14 and 15 in Yerevan and ChainPoint conference in Crypto Armenia. Stay tuned, stay crypto, and thank you very much, Miguel, and see you in Yerevan.
See you later. Thank you.